to appreciate is what are markets and what makes an efficient market in itself. Because that helps to also look at some of the activities of the exchange and what you see that regulators in the capital markets are doing and why they're doing it. A good point to lead to here is a lot of people say, why are we chasing derivatives? We've not even managed to make equities deep enough or liquid enough or the bond market, so why derivatives? And I think the rationale behind that madness is what we'll discuss first. So in a study by Oliver Wyman looking at markets all over the world, they identified that there are essentially 4 basic building blocks for an efficient market. An efficient market is essentially a situation where buyers and sellers can exchange securities and reward for those securities. Was that me? No, that's your and exchange rewards for those securities in a fast and efficient manner that derives value for both sides. Now, one of those building blocks is our cash market, and your cash market is your spot market, where you can come at every point in time and say, I want to buy this, how much is it, you get the price, you pay, and you go. The exchange is done instantaneously. The problem with cash markets typically is that you need to be able to go there and get a price. Now, a way of thinking around this, forget the inherent technicalities that you will get from the stock exchange or any of the financial sector. Think of it as a supermarket and the open market, your general terrestrial market. With the supermarket, you can carry out your transaction inherently faster because you know how to have it. There's no habit. You get there, you see the price on the item, you pick it up, you pay, you go. And some people actually like that because it makes things very easy, it's efficient. With the open market, you go, you ask this seller, he says it's 5 naira, the person directly beside says it's 450, you have to go back and forth. Some people like to go around a lot before you form your idea of the price. Why is that important? Is that for securities markets as well, how do you know the price of the security? Somebody needs to be supplying that price so that you can get an idea, giving all the information around that makes it easy for a buyer and a seller to sell. So the exchange is similar to your supermarket. You are meant to be able to see a price that, given all things around that particular security, you know exactly how much it is so that you can pay and you can go. But there are certain factors that are important. Somebody needs to be the one supplying that price. Who is that person? There's something that comes to where we're taking an initiative called market making. A market maker is somebody that stands ready in the market, takes information about securities they are making markets in, and continues to supply a price. That price might not ultimately be the price that everybody takes, but at least it gives us an indication of where somebody that is willing to buy will help to significantly cut down the distribution period for you to have access to the securities you invest in when you buy securities. In addition, even with mutual funds, we're working with the Fund Managers Association to develop a distribution platform for mutual funds so that you don't necessarily have to go to the particular fund manager's office or log on to their own particular tool in order for you to access their mutual fund. It will be available on the exchange platform. You can go to your normal broker and get access to it. So this electronic distribution is something that we're very focused on. And then of course, enhancements on market surveillance and corporate governance. The last item after investor meets is market infrastructure. Now, we've made some significant progress in market infrastructure, but there are still certain building blocks that are missing, which again the SEC and the exchange are trying to put in place. So take for instance things like direct cash settlement. It's an infrastructure issue. Take for instance something like securities lending. It's an infrastructure issue. Securities lending is a situation where I have a, like, hopefully all of us have shares or bonds or something that we've invested. Some of these instruments you've been holding for months, and probably you're not even looking at the value of the portfolio, or you're not doing anything with it. You should be in a position where you can rent it out to somebody that is obligated to give you back and will pay you a rental fee for it. That's what securities lending does. Now, why those infrastructure are important in the market is that it helps to continue to encourage the velocity of transactions in the market. So these 4 building blocks are essential for all the things that we would like to see happen in our market. 1, getting listings. People say, why are companies not listing? Companies will tell you that they will not list for as long as they are able to, as it were, get money on the side from not being transparent and compliant with regulations in the market. Because once you become listed, forgetting whatever else happens, at the very least, you publish financials every quarter. If I'm publishing financials every quarter, then it puts pressure on me, even if I want to mislead the public. I have to plan that life from the beginning of the year so that I can consistently provide it every quarter going towards the end of the year. You can't report, and then you know by half year maybe you see there's a problem. You can't jack it up. Somebody will call you up. Say, how did you manage to sell your own? Everything that was sold in the market, they sold 10,000 bags in the market. How did you sell 25,000 of the 10,000? I'm going to come and explain. So all these things make companies want to stay away. Furthermore, there's a fundamental problem with our market infrastructure. And it's something that speaks to why foreign portfolio investors, as it were, or foreign investors, tend to see the opportunities that we don't see. And in many cases, it's not as if we don't even see it. It's that you see it, but you are not capacitized to take that advantage.
Sister Onifade, who is the head secondary market and trading business division of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And just like I've said, we're also going to put that across to us through our email. And I think it will avail as many as we want to have this card so that we can keep interfacing with him. I think it will be a visionary as to when prices will go up and when it will stagnate. I think we just need before the end of this. But I want to round up now, and we just need to have a compliment. Please, the finger food are available, and immediately after Mr. Shira, we will move there so that we can do a bit of networking before we exit. But in a few minutes, we'll be out of this place.